Evening, everybody. Pop in, say hi. Let me know where you're from. If you haven't been into my channel before, my name is Cindy. I explore the inside and I explore the outside. I do explore videos, I do back road videos. I've even built a fort. But what I love to do is I love to work in emotions. I love to do mindset and mindfulness. And I love hanging out with my crew on Sunday nights, an hour and a half. We do Sunday nights live. We've got some new things coming up. I wanted to let everybody know, but we'll talk about it a little bit later. It takes a few minutes for YouTube to get everybody's notifications out there, let them know that I'm live. I just finished my live on Instagram here. Today we were talking about, moving ourselves forward in our evolution. We're living in a hairy, scary world right now. And there's some crazy, crazy stuff down there, or crazy stuff going on right now. And they're throwing a lot of money out there to help calm people's fears, right? And it kind of makes you wonder where all this money's coming from. But when I hear people about saving silver and stuff, even I have a jar that I save my scrap silver and my scrap gold, the ones that I think is gold too. I have some gold jewelry that my sister doesn't think is gold, but I'm pretty certain that it is. But she's looking for her acid test, and we're going to do an acid test, and we're going to see exactly who's right. But I do have a jar of scrap silver that I'm saving, for an emergencies, for bartering, right? And I actually watched Jake Ducey's video today. And there's this lady, she does finances and stuff, and I see her videos on occasion. I really like her, and every once in a while I pop in there and she gives some really, really great advice when it comes to the collapse financially of the world and stuff. And I would say she was probably a bit of a prepper. She's a prepper for the end of the world, but she kind of has insight. Like, she's a very spiritual lady, and she has great insights as to where the world is going. And I feel she tells the truth. And like, remember, it's about what we resonate with, right? Right? What we resonate with. And I resonate with her content, a lot of it, right? So she collects scrap cutlery, sterling silver cutlery. She has a big fruit bowl she fills up with all this scrap silver and stuff. And that's true. It's silver and gold will never depreciate. It will always go higher and higher. And she was saying, like, things are falling apart, not going down, but they're falling apart, going upwards, right? Things are rising and looking like they're getting better, but that isn't really the case, right? They're just throwing a lot of money at things just to make it look like things are maybe getting a little bit better out there. But I agree. I think things are going to not get better out there. If anything, it's going to get a lot worse. A lot of people are waking up to what's going on in this world, and they all have their own understandings, and it's a hard process. And when you're woken up hard, and I'm not one to speak this way, because when I woke up, surprisingly, it was one of my happiest moments that I had had in decades. I remember how happy I was when I was coming home from a trip. And it was such an amazing trip. And I'd never been so happy. I was never more encouraged or more hopeful for my future. I felt less crazy and less misunderstood than I ever had in my entire life, right? And I got home from that trip and I woke up in the morning and I looked at the world totally different. And ever since that day, right? And we're saying now it's been pretty close to 2 years, coming up in a few weeks from now. It will have been 2 years since that day when I woke up to the understandings that I have, and then woke up to just like doing a 360 in my life, doing a 360 of my life, right? And turning my life on its head. And that's exactly what I did. But slowly but surely, things have been improving, right? The hiccups will never stop. The little catastrophes in my life, they'll always show up. When you're going for big goals, when you're looking to put your light out there, when you're looking to shine, right? You're looking to do a good job and bring other people forward while you're moving forward, right? That's a good thing. That's progress. And when you do that, the dark likes to kind of gets whiff of what you're up to. It kind of gets whiff of what you're up to, and it goes into crisis mode. We can't have this. We can't have Cindy going from her limiting beliefs and her crappy life and being the scapegoat and the battery for people to use and to crank at and to relieve their own stresses. We can't have that. We need that. We need Cindy exactly where we had her. And I wasn't having none of that. So, of course, the dark part is a balance. It's a balance. So, when you go for big, you can expect some big things not to work out properly. But each time you struggle those obstacles, each time you overcome one of those obstacles, we get stronger. We get stronger. And I'm moving forward slowly, slowly, slowly. Andrew, Kathy, howdy, howdy. Hope everybody's having a great night. It's balmy. Do you mean it's nice and warm right now in Indiana, Andrew? Are you saying it's nice and warm today in Indiana? It was so cold here in Winnipeg. I went for a little bit of walk. I went to the grocery store to pick up some groceries, and then I came home and yeah, just got into some house chores, finished my laundry, tried to enjoy my day. I took in some amazing lessons, and I've got to check on some content that I haven't been able to check out for quite a while. And on top of that, I'm able to share my YouTube videos again to Twitter, which I haven't been able to do for whatever reason. There have been issues with my YouTube channel, but I locked it up. I made it so that a lot of people don't have access to my content and can't make changes and stuff. And it seems to kind of loosened up the grip that the security had on my right, even considering me as somebody that might be up to no good when it came to my brand, right? But I'm glad to see it's loosened up a little bit, and I was able to share some great content today. Actually, one of my favorites today actually got to interview, like Evan Carmichael, the gentleman that I follow, that I take my lessons from. He actually interviewed Matthew McConaughey today. So that was pretty exciting. Matthew McConaughey has always been a spiritual person. He's always been a very intelligent, living his own life on his own journey, right? Picking his own projects. I really like him, and he just wrote a book, and we don't see him very often, but of course, he has other aspects in his life that he's trying to take care of, right? And trying to live a happy life for him and his family. He said he had 3 kids, his wife and 3 kids. I thought that was pretty interesting. Now, I haven't seen Matthew McConaughey in a movie in years. I think probably the last movie I saw Matthew McConaughey in, oh my goodness, I can't remember. I was going to say 2012 because I love that movie, 2012. But that was Woody Harrelson, and I like Woody Harrelson, and I know those two guys, they get mixed up quite a bit. People mix them up quite a bit. I don't know how, but I almost did it right there by suggesting that one of my favorite movies. Because that movie 2012, the end of the world. And I always wondered, how why I actually did love those. What did my sister call them? She called them disaster movies, disaster movies, right? And disaster movies, since I was a little kid, have been around. The very first disaster movie I saw was probably Towering Inferno, and then there was Earthquake, and then there was Poseidon Adventure. Oh, there were lots of those movies, and they carried on. Independence Day, right? Again, 2012. I love Day After Tomorrow. If Day After Tomorrow came on TV, or if it got suggested to me by a video, I would have to stop everything I'm doing to go and watch that movie. I really like Day After Tomorrow, right? Yeah. Yeah, the 70s disaster movies, they were so good, and they always put such big stars in them, right? Remember that movie Earthquake? How many different movie stars were in them? What was that cop movie? There was a cop movie, and there were two cops, and I remember the one cop was in that movie. He played a cop in that movie too, right? And a good cop at the same time. And he hooked up that with that hippie girl with the afro in that movie. I can't remember his name, but he got to do a lot of movies, but he was always second character, I think. I never saw him actually become a star in his own right. Mind you, he was a star because he did television shows, right? I'm not sure if it was The Blue Knight. I think it was maybe Car 54 or something like that. Is that possible? Oh, right. Maybe he was one of the brothers on Bonanza. Is that possible? Okay, I'm getting way ahead of myself there now. It could drive me crazy if I start chomping on names because I'm so bad at names, right? And I keep saying that to myself, and I should say I'm amazing at names. I'm amazing at names. Because then I will be, because what I realize and what I think will be realized, right? But I still fall backwards every once in a while that way. But yeah, and who else? Paul Newman was in that movie. Paul Newman was in that. There were lots of great stars, lots of 70s stars, right? And Towering Inferno. I remember it was when Dolby Sound first came out. Dolby Sound first came out, and the whole theater shook. And I remember bursting into tears. And my dad had to take me out of the theater. And there was a candy shop next door to the theater. And he took me in for one of those lollipops, those all different kinds, all different colors. It's made like a big loop. Yeah, he took me into there. And the candy store was just like out of that movie, Willy Wonka factory, right? It was a candy store like that. Actually, I think I even got a chocolate bar, right? Because at the time, Willy Wonka movie, yes, I remember Willy Wonka movie was very, very popular and just come out in the theaters also. And that chocolate bar, the Wonka bar, was very, very popular. I think Hershey or something picked up the rights to that chocolate bar, and they actually were selling that chocolate bar in the candy stores, right? In the candy stores. And I remember getting, but I think at the time everybody got a gold ticket in those chocolate bars. I don't think people, I don't think, I think, yeah, I actually think that it was a gold ticket, or maybe they were wrapped in gold wrap. I think that's what it was. The chocolate bars were wrapped in gold paper, and there was an opportunity to win a great prize, right? George Kennedy. I would never have guessed that name, Andrew. Yes, you're right. George Kennedy. That's exactly what his name was. And yeah, I'm surprised you actually knew his name. Did you have to Google that, or did you know that off by heart, Andrew? Really? I thought it was so scary when they strung that big wire from one high rise to another high rise, and they got everybody out the window. I thought it was just like the scariest thing. But I did see that movie to the end. Like maybe that day my dad did have to take me out of the theater because the noise was too scary. Like it shook everything. It was terrifying. The sound and the Dolby sound, it was very realistic and everything. But, he took me to see Earthquake. And yeah, my parents loved movies. We used to even go to the drive in theaters, At least once a month, my dad would take us all to the drive-in theaters. We'd be in our pajamas and get wrapped up in our quilts, and we'd, all pile into the back seat of the car, and we'd go off to those all-night drive-ins, right? It used to be so much fun. Hook the speakers in the window, spend our time in the concession stands, popcorn with lots of butter. There were lots of good times, lots of adventures, right? Like it was very balanced. As much as there was dark stuff going on in my life, right? Lots of things that I preferred not to have been involved with or have lived through. But you know what? As much as I can say, I had amazing adventures. I had amazing adventures that a lot of kids wouldn't have had that opportunity to have because my parents were adventurers. Both of my parents were adventurers, but different types, right? My dad liked people very much, even though we never had people over at our house. Never had people over at our house. When my dad was home, he wanted to spend all his time with his family, right? He wanted to spend all his time with his family. He did have close friends, but most of his friends, like me, were his brother-in-laws and his sisters, his family, right? His brother-in-law was my dad's best friend. They'd take off for months together, right? Whether they were lumberjacking or whether they were doing the commercial fishing. And I still can't believe that my dad did those kind of jobs, having congenital heart disease, knowing that that was what was going to take him down and that it could take him down in any moment. And he never let it stop him, right? He lived right on the edge his entire life, my dad, right? He lived his life exactly the way he wanted to. Of course, he had a family. Of course, he had kids and he knew he had responsibilities, but he dragged us around in his adventures in life, right? They weren't necessary. They turned into our adventures too because we got to join him in his adventures, but truly they were my dad's adventures in life, right? Oh, I didn't know that, Andrew. And in the novel, the tower was actually going to have that wire hooked up to the World Trade Center. Now, could you imagine, right? Because we all know how tall that World Trade Center is. I just had the image of what happened there. That's so crazy, right? That these kind of things happen. But you know what? These terrible things happen consistently in our world. And until we can get our poop together, right? Everybody, and just want to better the world in itself, we have to learn to get along. We have to get along. Even in just because of this digital age, even everybody here, right? Like being baby boomers and stuff, you know, uh, I forced myself to come online. I forced myself to learn how to use these platforms and practice my craft and be able to come online and have these conversations, right? But those were choices that I made. I made those choices to. I didn't know anything about dealing with emotions except for my experiences, right? But when I heard and when I realized that our purpose comes from our pain in our life, right? I have to look back. Well, what was the worst pain? What was the worst of it in my life? Which episode in my life impacted me the most in a negative way, right? And I had to look back on that and I chose. There was lots of stuff, right? But I chose the thing that impacted me emotionally because emotionally, these things did stop me from moving forward and having the things in my life that I wanted to have in my life, right? There was a time all I wanted was husband, home, and children. And I look back on that now and I think about that now and I look at my life and I go, right? What if I was the same kind of mother as my mother was, right? What if I had dragged my children through all these difficulties that I was going through, and my difficulties became more compounded because I wasn't able to cope with the responsibility of having children, right? There was a reason my life turned out the way that it was and the path that I went through, and each choice that came across my path, and whether I chose to jump on that bandwagon or to just pass on it and do something else, whether I was afraid or I thought it might be boring, or right, it just wasn't the direction I wanted to be going in at the time, right? I was always out just to take the pain out of my life, to ease up that discomfort. And right, and when I couldn't hold a job anymore, right, that marriage, my marriage, that was the one of the backlashes of my marriage falling apart. I lost a lot of confidence in myself when my marriage fell apart. And in doing that, I didn't think I was worthy to have my jobs. I always thought when I got into a job that people could clearly see what was wrong with me. Even though I didn't know what was wrong with me, I just figured that there must be something wrong with me if people just didn't want to be around me. But that wasn't the case at all. That was all my doing, right? I was the one that decided not to hang out with my friends, right? To be a little bit choosier, just to spend more time on my own. Yeah. It's all about our choices. Oh, I didn't know that, in Andrew. You're so smart when it comes to these movies. Do you watch a lot of movies on your own, Andrew? You always seem so knowledgeable when it comes to the actors and the producers and the directors, right? The names of the movies, when they were made, or if they were associated with a novel first, right? I'd love to know whether or not you are a fan in actuality of movies. I did exactly the same, Andrew. I grew up late in life too. Boy, did I grow up late in life. I think I just wanted to be kid. I think I still want to be a kid in some aspects of my life, right? Because I'm truly believe we are meant to try and find the joy and the happiness in everything we do, right? And as much as there is poopy stuff going on out there, there are lots of amazing things that can easily sweep us up and take us in directions that are magical, right? Or full of lessons, visit and do things that we've never done before. Yeah, it's funny. I'm 59 years old and I still talk this way, that I still talk like I'm just starting out, like I'm just getting started, and I am truly just getting started. I right? I truly believe I'm just getting started, that something amazing is going to sweep this all up, and right? And it will be exciting. I know it will be exciting when it does, because once it picks me up, I'm not looking back. I'm just moving forward, right? I'm just moving forward. I find with me and you, Andrew, have more similarities going on. Each time we come into these lives and have these conversations, I didn't get a lot of guidance. My dad was away a lot, right? My dad was a commercial fisherman. And when he was home, and he'd go away for months at a time, a few times a year, right? And but when he was home, he drove cab at nighttime, so he would be sleeping all day long, and then he would go to work at night. We barely saw him unless he took a dinner break, and he would try and come home so he could spend a little time with his kids and have his dinner, right? But yeah, my parents always left decisions up to us kids. Us kids were always made to make our own decisions. And I never really realized it. I never really took note of it until I was an adult. Like my parents never taught me about finances, taught me about, I was making good money when I was 12 years old. I was making over $100 a week, right? And in the 70s, that's a lot of money for barely a teenager. And yeah, every weekend I'd go on Friday night and I would housekeep and nanny right through the weekend, and then I'd go back to school on Monday. I'd go home and then I'd go back to school on Monday. you know and basically that was so I would have something to do, so I wouldn't be at home, right, on the weekends when I wasn't going to school. But I made a lot of money and I wasted all that money. I never learned to save for anything or budget. I never learned to have a bank account. Eventually I did get a bank account, right? But I never was taught how to save money for anything or to set goals. I was never encouraged, though nobody ever stopped me from doing the things that I wanted, right? There were lots of times where I could have picked up, like I said, I could have been a competitive swimmer. I could have been a writer, a very good writer at one time. I thought, even as a small child, like people were noticing that I was a storyteller and I was able to express myself well, but none of this stuff was ever nurtured in me, right? Like it was almost like it was just stamped out that as soon as it was recognized, it was squashed in me, right? And I just ended up being the scapegoat and the battery pack in my family, right? And I carried that on through my adulthood. And the way I coped with it was through food, right? That's how I coped with these emotional problems that I ended up having growing up, not having the knowledge to be a healthy adult, to move myself forward with my own mind. But again, decisions were always left in our laps. And I barely made choices. I barely made any decisions. I just sat in that mess thinking that I was unworthy and provided no value except to take on the pain of others, right? And I did that. I did that my whole life for decades, right? And a lot of it I don't understand, but a lot of it I do understand. A lot of it I do understand, right? And I just got to remember my parents did the best that they could, right? My dad was very much like me. My dad was a very strong empath with very strong ideas, right? And he had plans for his life, but he also had responsibility. He had a wife and he had 4 girls, and he wanted to impact. And yeah, he gave me lessons. My dad gave me lessons. So back to your main statement there, Andrew, right? My dad did teach me lessons. I did have a healthy upbringing by my father, but he wasn't around enough. My dad, like I said, he'd go away for months at a time, and I was left to the devise of what was going on in the household, right? Like I said, I was scapegoated. I was treated, right, like a battery pack or a dumping ground, right, for people's problems. And that's how I provided value, and that's, I think, what I was meant to do. And for some reason, something snapped on me, and I said, "That's it. That's enough. I'm my own person." And even though I don't have the answers, and even though I fail, and even if I do make mistakes, right, and even if I don't get it right, I'm making that effort and I'm moving myself forward, and I'm going to be proud of the effort that I put myself in, right? And I'm going to trust the people when they say to be proud of the effort, right? And not the result. I'm going to trust in that. And I'm going to put my effort into being a better person. I'm going to put my effort into trying to learn a craft that will move me forward. coronavirus happens. How was I to know? I was already a year in to working with emotions and emotional intelligence, working in trauma, working with trauma, post-traumatic stress disorder and complex trauma and codependency. I'd been doing that for a year, right? Because purpose comes from my pain. So I started doing that. And I seriously, when the coronavirus happened, I went, oh my goodness, I was woken up for these times. That's exactly what had happened. I was woken up for these times. And if I hadn't woken up in these times, right? Then this information and these gifts that are miraculously coming to me, right? I don't know how, but I'm grateful that I get these insights and these knowings that move me forward and that I'm able to pass them on to other people. I'm very grateful for that. I don't know who's going to believe it. I don't know who's going to chomp on some of that information and move themselves forward. But like I said, I truly believe it's our own choices. We are meant to take our own paths in life, right? We get free choice in this lifetime. I'm positive it's free choice. And I'm making these choices and I'm trying to make good choices with the resources that I have. I'm going in for my eye exam tomorrow. I'm making another accomplishment. Last week, I accomplished getting my driver's license last week. And this week, I am accomplishing getting my eyeglasses. I have my down payment. I have my payment for the eye exam, and then I get paid this Friday. The whole paycheck is going towards my glasses, but I'm accomplishing my glasses too. Next week, maybe even this week, we'll see. Maybe even this week, Cindy is working on redoing her phone contract and getting a new phone so that I can use the phone that I have now, because I have a Google Pixel right now. It works amazing, but it has lots of storage. I'm going to use this as a backup camera. There is no need for me to go out there and spend hundreds of dollars on a good camera when I have a good camera right on my phone. I have an amazing camera. So this is going to be a backup camera. And starting, I didn't tell you guys yet, but starting in the middle of March, in the next 2 weeks, right? When I get this new phone, I am going to be recording horizontally, right? Because YouTube is this way, Instagram and Facebook are this way when you're filming, right? So I have got an extra camera when I now do my lives on Instagram, because you can only go live on your phone when you do Instagram. So I'm going to be taping my Instagram lives at the same time. I am bringing my IG television show to YouTube, and it's called What's My Good Cheer. What's My Good Cheer is coming to YouTube also now. So I'm pretty excited about that. This is moving forward. These are choices that I am making that are forcing me to move forward, right? Sometimes we have to stir that pot ourselves. And I'm sorry, somebody's got an alarm going off outside, and yeah, it's pretty loud. Maybe it'll go off. Maybe it won't. But these are the challenges, right? It's the light and the dark, and we have to adapt and we have to conquer, right? And we have to search out those answers for ourselves. Okay, so let's go into the comment. Let's see who else is here. If you're in my live right now, pop in, say hi, let us know where you're from. Introduce yourself to my moderators here. Kathy Nichols, she's one of my moderators. Andrew, he's one of my head moderators here. I don't know who else is here. Oh, look, an Angry Birds fan. Hi. The participants, dear, are the people who are actually making comments, right? So when you look at the screen and you see 6 people watching the live, those are actually 6 people that are watching the live. But participants are a little bit different. Participants are the people who are actually in the comments and have made a comment. And you'll see the participants will change too, because I think it goes every 5 minutes or so, it is updated. So if only 2 people chat within the comments in the next few minutes, then that number will change. Yeah, it's interesting. I loved YouTube, and this is what I love best about YouTube when I go live on YouTube, is that the comments just roll and I can keep up on it really easy. So much easier than on my Instagram. Number one, I've got it on my monitor here, which is much bigger than the screen that I have on my phone, right? Much bigger, even though I have a big phone. I have a big phone, but it's a great phone. So I'm really excited about the progress that I've been making in the past couple of weeks. The one after that, it's going to have, everything else after that is going to have to be a non-monetary goals that will get me places or get me things or help me to accomplish in my lessons or in my movement forward, that don't cost money. Because every single penny that I make, that I have extra, and I'm going on a fund budget, right? A not fun budget, but a fund budget. I've got to save money. I plan on buying, listen for it, I think I'm buying a Dodge Nitro. I always loved the Nitro truck. I really did. And when I went to get my Chevy Trax, I was actually going to the dealership to look at a Nitro for $11,000. And that was about 5 years ago. 5 years ago. They haven't made the Nitro since 2011, but it's a nice meaty truck. It's a big SUV, but it's more like a truck than an SUV. It's great for camping. It's got a great back end. It's got a tow hitch, which is amazing because my sister has a side-by-side. I could take it out with me when I go camping. It would be so much fun to do. Yeah, this is the vehicle I need, and it's within my budget now. And I always said I want a Dodge Nitro. I want a Dodge Nitro, and I got the Chevy Trax instead, and that lasted, 1 or 2 years before I was standing at a stop sign and somebody crashed into me. And it felt like it just knocked the windshield washer onto the road, right? And there was a dent in the light, but they ended up writing the car off. And then I ended up getting the Mitsubishi Outlander. And I love the Mitsubishi Outlander. My sister bought me a car. I loved it. I loved my car. I loved my sister for buying my car. She was my hero. She was the one that was keeping me afloat. I was living beyond my means. I was living in an apartment I couldn't afford. I was paying car insurance payments on a car that I couldn't afford. And on top of that, I was barely working. Like I said, I couldn't keep jobs. After my marriage fell apart, I had a hard time keeping jobs, right? I was just going down, down, down. Yeah. So when I got into social media and I went on a couple of trips and stuff, I could see how my sister would be upset that I was spending so much time at working my brand and making sure that my brand survived above anything else, even above making sure that I had a job and a roof over my head. She got frustrated, right? She decided she was going to shut me down. What better way to shut me down than to take away my wheels so that I couldn't go out there and have these adventures. But that idea came to her for a reason. And I think her spirit, right, chomped down on that idea, thought it might work, right? Maybe it was a little bit of the dark. Maybe it was a little bit of the light. Because you know what that did for me when they took that car away from me? I went straight into my studies. So instead of wasting my time off on my days off, right? And when I had extra time, instead of taking off onto the back roads and being one with Mother Nature and getting that healing, right? I had had enough healing. I had spent a lot of time on the back roads. I had spent a lot of time, camping and working on my fort, doing the bushcraft, doing the back road explorations, right? It was time to study. And Spirit wanted me stuck in this position that, maybe it would sweep me up. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. I said, okay, I'm making my brand work. And I delved deeper into the analytics and deeper into YouTube and Google and social media. And I picked up more platforms. And then my channel started flaming because I didn't have a vehicle. I couldn't get out there and go back road exploring or urban exploring or anything anymore. So what could I do, right? So I decided to pass and let's share this journey of mine. Let's show that Cindy can move forward. You can strip me of everything that I absolutely have, but no matter what, I am still moving forward. I can't be stopped, and I can't be stopped now at all. Yeah, we've got a fire truck here, and I'm thinking maybe that's a fire alarm in my building going off, that noise. I don't know, people. We're going to wait and we're going to see about that. But if the Spirit needs me to move, I will move. I will move because I'm letting go and I'm just going to trust that everything is going to be okay. Look I got a roof over my head. I'm looking out a great picture window with a big fire truck. This is the first time that I have seen the fire truck outside my window. I don't know if I should be leaving my apartment right now. I don't see anybody outside. Nobody is standing outside. Like everybody is in their apartments. Am I doing something unsafe? Nobody looks like they're running in. Okay, the fire truck is right there. I'm going to keep a half eye about what's going on out there. If somebody comes and knocks on my door and tells me to get out, I'm grabbing my cat and I'm out of here. No question. Safety first, right? Oh, but the fire alarm just went off. Okay, so that's a good sign, right? That's a good sign. But I was prepared. I was prepared to move. Fire alarm's going off again. I don't smell anything. Everything seems okay. The firemen don't look like they're rushing or anything. And the fire alarm did go off for a second. So maybe they're just trying to figure out how to turn it off. But I don't know where I was there. So let's take a look at some of these comments and we'll just pick another topic of discussion here. Just see who's here. Oh, Owen's here now. Hi, Owen. Oh, William's here this week. Awesome, William. How's this month been going for you? William had his birthday last month, you guys. A couple of weeks ago, actually, it was his birthday. When was your birthday, William? Yeah, I messaged him, wished him a happy birthday, but I don't think we did it here, did we? And this, oh, look, an Angry Birds fan. Who are you and where are you from? Nice to have you here. I'm pretty excited. I always get excited when new people pop into the lives and stuff. And I know I have regulars who just walk in the back or watch in the background. And I know I have people who come in much later during the course of the night or tomorrow, and they'll watch my videos then, right? But yeah, there goes the fire alarm again. We don't know if it's going to start up again. I may get a knock on the door and may have to end this live quickly. I don't know. We're playing it by ear, right? We're just going to go with the flow, right? And it looks like they're leaving. Nobody's rushing down there. Yeah, they're putting all their gear back into the truck. So I guess everything is okay. Let's see who else is here. Oh, to give you some good news, I don't know who out there actually saw. Nancy came live with me yesterday on my Instagram, and we did a live yesterday. on my Instagram. And again, she told us, I love Nancy when she tells her story about her life and everything, because she has had such a rough life, right? And she got some help again. And, the miracles that run into her life, right? They come as quickly and as swiftly and as efficiently as those bad things that happen in her life. But we had such a great conversation last night, and she's going to be an entrepreneur. She's been working on scale coal beds for her train sets, for the model trains that she does. So she's going into competition with Amazon, and she's making coal beds, and she's going to be an entrepreneur, right? That it just makes me so proud. It makes me so happy, right? Even if I don't become an entrepreneur, and I'm not too sure that I do, right? I'm building my brand, but there may come a time where I'll say, okay, right? Okay, let's let somebody else handle this brand and take this brand where it needs to go, right? Hand me the money, and I'm on to my next adventure, and I'm heading off on my next adventure, right? And yeah, I still looking at my amethyst mine. Like, people, don't forget that I have lots of goals in my life, right? But, these things will come across my paths, right? The opportunities will happen for me if they are meant to happen for me. And if they don't, that's okay too. I was thinking some of my favorite things, right? I am subscribed to some YouTube channels that I watch religiously every single week. No matter what, I'll go searching for them on the day that I know that they're posting. I will go searching for their videos, but they're not being suggested to me anymore. Google's not suggesting them to me. YouTube's not suggesting them to me. The content itself is not flickering across my mind, except on the days that I know they're posting. So if it crosses my mind, okay, I know Hoover Brothers, and we're talking about my metal detecting video. So I find it very curious that my passion for those metal detecting videos have not been suggested to me. And I know if it doesn't remain in my life, those interests will kind of fade out on their own. And I love metal detecting. I love Hoover Boys and Stealth Diggers and It's Not Thursday and Appalachian History Hunters and Archaeology History. Oh, I haven't seen any of their videos forever. I got to go see what they've been up to too. But these videos are not being suggested to me. Everything is a lesson. Every video being suggested to me is a thought leader, a spiritual leader, a yogi, right? A guru, a great teacher, right? And their content is coming across my path, and I've been learning off some of the best. I've been learning off of some really smart people, and it makes me curious. What's the plan for you, Cindy? What's the plan for you? Right? I'm ready to go, right? But I'm waiting for those choices to come across my path where I could actually make a choice, right? And move myself forward in another direction. I feel pulls, but I don't feel that need to make a solid, concrete decision on things right now. I expect the things in my life, right? Well, the pot will be stirred and problems will arise when I'm going in the wrong direction, right? And when those problems start showing up consistently, then I know I'm going in the wrong direction and it's time to turn around, go back to the main road, or make a different choice, right? Make a different choice and go off in a different direction, right? Yeah. All about choices. You guys, I'm all about the choices, right? For everybody on a daily basis. Everybody gets multiple choices. Everybody can make a choice right this second if they wanted to and flip their lives upside down and go in a totally opposite direction if they wanted to, right? Everybody gets to make that decision for themselves, and they can make that decision anytime they want. Sometimes as a kid, right, we can't make those decisions. Sometimes, as a 10 or 11-year-old, I mean, you can't leave home, right? You need a roof over your head. You need education. You need somebody to take care of you, to make sure you're fed, to make sure that you're well, make sure that you're dressed, right? You're still a child, right? So sometimes we don't have choices. And sometimes things get so bad that we have to make these choices. Maybe you are a 12-year-old and you just can't take it at home anymore, and you've made that choice to leave. But did you set yourself up in a good situation where you could be taken care of? Did you go talk to a school counselor? Did you go and talk to your doctor? Did you go talk to somebody at Child and Family Services, maybe? Right? I never had that opportunity, right? It was very clear to me as a kid, we don't discuss family problems. But we live in a digital age where, we have to talk about our problems because that's how we heal, right? Time, talking, and crying. And that's what gets us over our depressions and our sadnesses and our heartbreaks, right? This is what will move us forward, is to help eliminate, or at the very least alleviate, some of these emotions that we have, right? But you'll feel, if you need to make a change in your life, you will feel that need. Like Andrew talking all the time, I need to get another job, right? I've been thinking about moving forward or moving into a different position or looking for a different opportunity. When you start feeling this way, when these thoughts keep popping in your mind, you're moving in that direction, right? But how slow of a process or how fast of a process, and what directions you're going to take, these are all choices we have to make, right? And sometimes we go slow because we want to make the right decisions and the right choices. And sometimes we go so fast because we have to, because if we give ourselves any time, we'll talk ourselves out of opportunities. We'll talk us out of moving in the directions that are best for us, right? We'll talk ourselves out of losing those negative people that are in our lives that are holding us back from the movements that we need to make for ourselves and for people that need our help, right? Oh, okay. 40. Oh, you're still a baby, William. You're still a baby. 48 years old is nothing. Is nothing. Yeah. I'm going to be 60 in October, but I'm not pushing it. It's still a half a year away. I'm going to enjoy this. I'm 59 years old. 59 is a great year. Right. I think it's that maturity, that life experience, that settledness in my finances, and the stability of having a roof over my head, right? It's grounded me quite a bit. It's grounded me quite a bit. Let's look at more of some of these comments here. Oh, perfect. Andrew, that's amazing. Andrew's saying that he's had time, because sometimes these when they get posted, that the comment area doesn't show up, right? But as of late, I watched my last live on YouTube, and for the first time I've been able to read the comments, and I haven't been able to read the comments after the fact. So I was really happy to see that the comments showed up on my last live. But yeah, very welcome, everybody, no matter what denomination you are, no matter what in your religious beliefs, right? Your spiritual beliefs. no matter what culture you are, what nationality you are, where you live in the world, you are welcome here. The only prerequisite, right, in participating is that you learn English. Learn English. I want you to come in and chat in the comments. Let us know where you're from. If you're from somewhere exotic, most of my subscribers on my YouTube channel are from North America. But on my Instagram, I have people from Iran, from Turkey, from Nigeria, from all over. It's so exciting to meet people from other parts of the world. It really is. And, when you talk to them, you realize that we are not so different after all. Even as kooky sometimes as I think that I can be, right? There are people who get it. There are people who appreciate that kookiness, right? And they appreciate me, and that gives me encouragement. That gives me peace of mind, and that gives me the incentive that I could keep moving forward, that I could keep going ahead and doing this, and it's going to be okay. I'm going to expect people out there are going to think that I'm a kook, right? And I'm going to expect people out there every once in a while are going to say something not nice. But I've got Andrew and Owen and Kathy and William. I have great moderators, and they would take care of those comments. If anybody said anything mean about anybody, they don't tolerate it. They don't tolerate saying anything. The most unkindness that you can get is maybe Melvin, maybe in his political ideas, because sometimes we don't like certain candidates or something, and sometimes he'll be a little bit more vocal on those candidates than some of the others. But in general, we don't talk, and even Melvin doesn't do that either. Melvin has been so good on my channel, coming in and keeping us company and everything. But I know he loves his politics, and I know he has some strong opinions out there, like we all do, And I was actually talking on Instagram today, and I don't know if it was my live show this morning or in the evening, but I was talking about Donald Trump being a scapegoat, right? And as much as he's done not such a great job, and I don't know that for sure, because like I said, I am moving forward. I'm not spending a lot of time looking at the coronavirus or looking at politics or protests or people, setting fires to buildings and all the mayhem and the wars and all that stuff. I'm not paying attention to the negative. I'm not, because these things are set in place, I'm positive, to distract me, to make me to come in there, right? I know the chaos that these events happen to people. When the darkness comes in and plays games with people's minds and people's emotions and stuff, I know the damage that it could do. So why would I pay it any mind? I won't. But I'll come in afterwards and I'll clean up that mess. Right? Yeah, I hope people don't get wrapped up too much in what's going on. You have to keep a half eye, because you want to know when you're going to get your shot, when you're going to get your vaccines and stuff. You want to stay safe and you want to keep up to date, but you don't want to compulse. There are more important things in your life, more important goals for you, right? God's got bigger things for us, right? And God wants us to keep looking forward. Can you guys see? I finally got my lampshade at my work for my glass lamp that I've been hauling around with me for 40 years. It looks pretty amazing. I'm glad I brought the lamp with me after all. It's a nice lamp, and it goes really well with my Marilyn Monroe white chic. It's kind of the idea. I kind of have this kind of white chic kind of idea for this wall here, and it's working out pretty good. But this wall here, my Mother Nature wall that my YouTube channel hasn't gotten to see yet, I am going to be looking for another cord for an extension so that I can move my camcorder over there. I mean, I can even do my lives on my phone, and yeah, but right after my Instagram lives, because sometimes my Instagram lives are pretty long too. I have hour long. I've had 2 hour long Instagram lives. It all depends on the mood, the topic, and how into flow that I am. Sometimes I just get yapping and I can't let go. So everybody, I'm going to do a little something here. And for you guys to know, I've been working on Nancy's magic wand, getting it ready for her. I sanded it down. I started painting some stars and some little designs and stuff. I wrote her name on here. I'm going to stain it. I'm going to add some sparkles. It's a 2-prong wand, only because this is really cool, though, in actuality. Number one, anybody gets too close to her, right? She can whack them. She got a good grip. She can whack them. But the thing is, lots of time when we put our magic out to the world, right? Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes we put that good cheer out there and it doesn't hit home, right? It doesn't do the job that we intended for. The first prong, we always have to remember the effort. And that's what this is, right? Just a reminder that there is magic even in the effort and not just the goal, right? That even if we can just make it to the effort, if we could get the magic of the effort out there, maybe we could just go a little bit further, just a little bit further to hit that goal. But if we don't hit that goal, it's okay, because the effort counts too. And the first prong is always the effort, right? Always the intention, right? You're sending that love out there, right? You're sending that good cheer out there, those good wishes for somebody. Somebody's not having a good week or a good month. You could send out a good prayer, right? A magic wand is not witchery. It's not witchery. It's only a tool to set your mind's intent, your soul's intent, your heart's intent, right? Depending on what religion you are, what denomination you are, what your spirituality is all about, right? So now I just need my sprinkles, right? I need my sprinkles. And then I'm going to lacquer. I'm going to stain it. And then I'm going to lacquer the whole thing off. And then I am going to, I think I'm going to put some kind of little claw or hook on this end here, so that because Nancy's in a wheelchair, right, that at very least she could go onto the floor and she can kind of pick things up with it. Multi-use, right? It has to be multi-use. But remember, it's a double-pronged matching, right? Double-pronged magic wand, right? And it's in appreciation for the effort, not just the results, right? Something to keep all of us in mind as we're moving forward in our lives, right? Yeah. So I thought I wanted to show everybody that. But in the meantime, give me 1 second here. I'm just running to my counter here. And for you guys get to have a say in this too. I think I have made my decision on which pair of glasses. I'm going for my eye exam tomorrow. We're getting glasses. It's one of my goals, right? Is to get a pair of glasses. Now, Cindy is coming from not having a lot of money, like most of us. Most of us are struggling at this time. But I do have a job, and I've dedicated an entire paycheck towards getting my glasses. But even an entire paycheck isn't enough to pay for my glasses. My glasses are $1,000. I am extremely farsighted and I have astigmatisms, right? This came from silly me as a young adult in my 20s. I went down to the legislative and they have great big spotlights shining on these great big slab stone architecture, right? Beautiful architecture. Remember, it's our legislative building. And they had these great big spotlights, and we called it Purple City. And as a young adult, we would go stand in front of these great big spotlights and stare into them, right? And stare into them. And then we'd walk around the city for an hour, and every light in the city would be purple for an hour because we did something to our retinas or whatever from staring at these great. And these were stupid things we do as teenagers and young adults. We all do these things. We all make bad decisions that affect us for all our life. I always wanted to wear glasses. I thought it would make me look smart wearing glasses, right? But when I ended up in glasses, and I went from wearing no glasses to being full-time in glasses when I was 27 years old. Was I 27? No, I was married. So I was probably 30 years old. I got married when I was 30. So I was 30 years old. My husband just turned 20, right? When we got married. And yeah, silly things that we do when we're young adults. And I ended up in glasses full time. And I wasn't pleased with my glasses. I wasn't happy. I didn't look like the smart kid that I wanted to look, right? I wanted to be special. And I thought, oh, Cindy, if you're wearing glasses, you'll look like a smart kid and you'll be special. No, I look like Baubles from Trailer Park Boys because my lenses were so thick. I actually had to get special lenses, and they're still thick. They're still pretty thick, but these are Nikon lenses, and they are a lot thinner than what they actually would be because my lenses would probably be about that thick if I didn't get these Nikon lenses. So it's the lenses that are so expensive. Yes, the frames will cost me $300 or $350 to get a decent pair of frames minimum, right? But those lenses are still going to cost me over $500. So that's going to bring me to almost $1,000 right there. So I thought, because I work in a secondhand store and because people donate their glasses for the past month, I've been buying up all the decent glass frames. And I came down to 4 glass frames in choices to pick for having lenses put into them. So I paid $1.50 for each pair of these glasses. So for about $5, because I get a little staff discount, for about $5, I've got these glasses. And whichever glasses I don't take, they'll be redonated to my store. I'll redonate them so somebody else can pick them up. But I needed to make a choice because, glasses are important. They're on my face. I've had these pair of glasses now for 10 years. They're not, I ruined my good pair, right? I ruined my good pair by running them under the water in hot water, and I ruined the film on them. But so I was lucky to have an old pair in the drawer. So I've been wearing these ones for about 6 months now. I've been wearing these glasses, but I notice now that I get little tightness around my eyes. I notice I get tired, that I have to go to bed a lot earlier because my eyes get tired, right? So they get tired just from watching video and reading comments and stuff like that. So I do need to have my glasses, but $1,000 is a little bit too much, especially when I'm saving for a car and I got my driver's license. I'm working on goals is what I'm doing. Is I'm working on my goals. I'm working at pulling myself forward. And this is what my channel is all about, right? Exploring the inside and the outside. And I want to show people, if you work on the inside, if you work on those limiting beliefs, if you can build your confidence up, if you can make yourself feel like it's actually possible and show everybody, like, look what I accomplished last year. Look at the weight I lost. Like, physically, I'm a different person. Like, physically, I don't even look like the same person, right? And so I have done great movement in the past few years. I have to look back on it and I have to appreciate it. But things are moving a little bit faster, and I have big goals to make, and I want to get back on the road because it's important for me not only to show everybody that it's possible, but my joy, right? It lays there. I want to be able to, on my days off, to go off to Mother Nature and make videos and show everybody what's possible, and actually to bring my exploration of emotions and calmness and show everybody what Mother Nature has to offer the world, in not just in making us feel good, right? Not just, oh, that's such beautiful landscapes, right? Or what a great explorer, a great adventure that was, but how it makes us feel on the inside, right? The healing part of that. So it's important for me. So I'm working towards these goals and I'm moving forward. I'm reaching them, and I will have a good idea tomorrow what the state is about these glasses. But I thought that if I could just have the lenses popped into somebody's donated pair of glasses, that maybe I could save $350. And that's exactly what I've done. I think I've picked the pair that I want, but I'm going to try each pair of these glasses on, and you guys tell me. I have 4 pairs. So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. I'm going to put each pair on, and I'd like each of your opinions, right? It doesn't matter which one it is, what your opinion is, because I'm getting different opinions from everybody, right? But I'm taking it into the consideration because I want to make the right decision. And because I can't really see myself, right? I can't really see myself without these glasses on. I can't really judge what these glasses look like. So I can, again, because I did it on my Instagram, I could do it here on YouTube and come back in and take a look at myself as I'm trying these glasses on, and because I have better lighting here and I got a bigger screen, right? And it'll be much better for me to actually see how I look. Okay, so let's try with pair number 1. This is pair number 1. Pair number 1 is an acrylic pair of glasses here. Clear. There's no nose guards on these ones, so just the one fit, right? Just the one fit. They have really pretty sides. They open up. They seem fairly strong. This is what they look like. Now, the prescription that I'm going to get, I'm also going to have an anti-glare put on them. So these are the clear acrylic frames. And this is pair number 1. Let me know what you think of them, if you think they look good or not. Okay? This is pair number 2. They're a more masculine pair. They're more squarish, like the silver pair that I had. And I did like the design of the square. I think the square suits my eye. I think it's good coverage. It's got nice, strong handles, right? It has a little bit of a masculine look. This was my concern about this pair here. But they fit really, really good. They fit really good. I think they look professional. I have good coverage, like for looking and seeing. There's no blank spots. Everything is covered properly. And I know specifically, because I have such a thick lens prescription, that these frames will for sure be a good candidate, because the person also who owned these had a little bit of a stigmatism also, because his lenses were fairly thick too. Not the same as mine, right? But I could probably wear these in an emergency. I wouldn't be able to read anything, but I'd be able to get around without bumping into things, because even though I can't see detail, I can see everything through these. So I bought these thinking they might be a good spare, but somehow they made it into my top 4 choices. So let me know what you think of this pair. And like I said, they fit comfortably. This is pair number 3. A little bit different from the pairs I've had in the past. I like them. I like these frames. They're fairly strong. They don't open up as more. They have a little bit of a stiffer kind of feel here, right? So I'm not sure if they'll be as durable as my other glasses, but they are nice looking. They have a nice red hue to them, and they have nice Nice handles, nice design on the sides. And these ones are very comfortable too. Very comfortable. They sit nicely on my nose. I think they're comfortable. They don't have as good as coverage. Like I can see with what I'm seeing with my natural prescription, right? Everything will be a little bit different. So when I do get the prescription in there, there'll be two different sizes that I will see because there's a little bit of space here. I think the lens might not be quite big enough, but this is pair number 3, right? Let me know. And remember, I'm going to have anti-glare on them. And then number 4, which was the last one that made it to my 4 pairs of glasses. There were actually 6 pairs of glasses that I had. 2 of them were definite no's. Once I got them home, I said, no, these won't work at all. And this one here, is my real prescription. This is number 4. I've never done frameless glasses before, but this one just has the nose guard attached to the frames themselves. They're very light. They don't look very strong. If I should drop them on the floor and step on them, they would definitely be destroyed, whereas the other ones might have a little bit of a chance of surviving. These ones, I don't think they would. They're pretty delicate, but I like the way they look. They're very comfortable. There's a lot of space here, right? There's a lot of stuff that I would love to have in a prescription so that I could, right? It's about safety, being aware of everything around me. I want to be able to see really well. But this was the last pair, number 4, everybody. So I'm going to have those lenses popped into one of those pairs. I think I made my decision. I haven't made my final decision, but I think I've made my decision. What do you guys think? I want to hear. Let me know which ones in the comment that you liked. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Number 1. Oh, the clear acrylic ones. Melvin, number 3. Kathy, number 2. And number 1. I decided. Oh, that was very nice of you to say, everybody. Nice of you to say. But I think this is the pair that I decided to go with. They look professional. They suit my face. I do like the square frame. I like that the lenses are larger so that I get that extra view. I'll be able to see clearly right across. They sit right across my eyebrow really well. And they stay on my head. I'll be able to go swimming when I go camping. I'll be able to dive into the lake this time and not worry that I'm going to lose my glasses. So this was the pair that I decided. This was the pair that I thought that would make a good pair for me. But I'm taking tomorrow all those glasses with me because there's no guarantee. Because though I like this pair of glasses to have the lenses put in, that doesn't mean, because they'll have to do a little test to see where my retina lies in the lens itself to make sure there is enough coverage. But I think this is probably, for the optometrist, probably the best bet too, because it's the biggest of all my lenses. The acrylic ones too, that everybody was saying that they like too. This pair, the acrylic pair. Yes, this acrylic pair is the one that people seem to like also in the glasses too, which is kind of neat. So I'm going to take another look at myself when I watch my live afterwards, and we'll see if I change my mind on it. But yeah, I'm pretty excited, you guys. I'm getting things done. I'm moving myself forward. Life is a little bit better, right? And I want to keep this momentum up, because the more I work on it, the more I do this change, the more I move myself forward, the easier it will be and the faster it will be. Now, let me find my pair of glasses. Like I said, I'm totally blind. Well, that's not them either. Oh, Sydney. Okay. I think these are them. These are them. I'm pretty certain that these are them. I'm pretty certain. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Right. But that's how blind I am. And that is from doing silly things. That's from doing silly things as a young adult. And now, periodically, every 5 years or so, I have to get new glasses. But if I ever hit it big, if I ever get the opportunity to not worry about things financially, I will have the laser surgery. I will have my eyes corrected. For sure I will, right? Because again, I'm somebody, I'd like to say I don't care about my appearance, right? But I'm 59 years old. I'm getting older. I shouldn't care about my appearance, but here I am buying designer clothes and right? Trying to look nice. I'm not wearing any makeup anymore. I haven't been wearing makeup at all for the longest time. And that's the great thing about doing the mindset and the mindfulness is getting that confidence that, you know what, you're okay just the way you are, right? Just the way you are. And me having those limiting beliefs and me not feeling good about myself physically, those lessons that I've been doing, if I don't get anything out of this, if I pass that information out and none of you guys get anything out of it, at the very least, I got the confidence that I could actually come online without any makeup at all, right? Just natural, just the way I am, all my flaws, all my beauties, right? And know that it's okay and not worry about it, right? What have you guys been thinking about what's been going on Mars, you guys? What have you guys been I know we're going to run a little bit late, but have you guys been watching the landing on what's been going on and not on Mars? I was actually listening to the wind. I was listening to the sound. It's so quiet. It's so quiet, but every once in a while the wind picks up on the sound, and it's so neat. You take your glasses off to read and write? That is so interesting, Andrew. I didn't know people did that. But yeah, they have a live channel if you want to go and watch, what the Perseverance is doing, because they're taking beautiful panic scenery, landscape photographs, and actual live footage of what's going on at Mars, and it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I could watch those land formations and rock formations all day and all night long. I could get hooked on it really, really bad. And I try not to. I popped into it a couple of times, but I don't stay more than a couple of minutes because I know that I really like it. I know I could really enjoy and not get anything done because I'm just wasting time on that. But yeah, I'm really pleased. I'm in my apartment. I'm moving forward. Things have been going better, right? I've still got lots of debt. I still have lots of problems that I need to deal with, right? Um, but I'm taking in my lessons. Oh, Nancy's here too, right at the end of the live. Nancy's popping in to say hi. Nancy's got her own brand going on now, and Nancy's an entrepreneur now, right? Right, Owen? 100%, Owen. Yeah, Nancy's been getting miracles right and left, right and left. And even in the midst of the chaos and all the tragedies and all the scary, because there's lots of scary in our lives, in all of our lives, whether we talk about it or we don't talk about it. There's always as much crap going on. And I hate that word, but there is. It's true. There's as much crap going on in our lives as there is good, right? And it's wonderful. It's wonderful when we need it the most, when we think we just can't take one more poopy thing happening to us or happening to somebody we care about, that amazing things happen, that the good things happen, right? Wow, that's some crazy conversation there. A lot of it, I don't understand it, but it's cool, right? Yeah. And I was telling them all about our conversation on Instagram, Nancy. Thank you so much for coming live with me yesterday, Nancy. I love chit chatting with you. Your story is so interesting. Not just the past, not just the present, but just my speculation for your future and seeing where you're going to take yourself, right? Where you're going to take, you're such an inspiration. And I think a lot of me moving forward comes from watching the people around me move themselves forward too, right? Yeah. But we're going to have a new studio in less than 2 weeks. Soon as I get my phone and I start taping what's my good cheer on my Instagram channel, those videos will be coming. Those the good ones, because I do crappy lives too, but I do good ones. It all depends on the flow. It all depends if there's a big lesson that needs to be shot out there or something, right? And but I'll be ready to go and I'll be able to upload those videos instantly in the formats I want to and not have to use like InShot and stuff. It gives me kind of that miniature version of a video that I want to put up there, right? And then it'll only be a couple of more months, people, a couple of more months. You guys are going to see me get back on the road, right? It's going to be so exciting. And I've got to plan that trip. I've got to plan that trip. I'm sure, right? I won't be able to go camping like the first week that I get my car, but I am planning on going camping. I'm taking June 1st, 2nd, and 3rd off. I think I'm taking the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd off and of June. And we're going camping. We're going camping. And how exciting that I'll have a couple of weeks to do a couple of little short trips just to see and see what kind of videos, right? What kind of impact can I make on YouTube that I can compete with the other explorers out there? And I think I could, right? Bring Mother Nature to my brand. I'm so excited for that. Okay, everybody. I am heading out now. My day is done. I have done 3 lives today. I did 2 lives on Instagram. I did a live here. I went for a walk this evening. I got a few groceries. I did some cleaning, right? I did some cleaning. I did some laundry, right? It's about moving us forward, right? About moving us forward. Kim came too, right at the very end, right at the very end. I don't know what you guys are talking about. What is ABSW? What is ABSW, you guys? Is that's train talk, isn't it? Is that train talk? Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that good chair. Really, that confidence too. That confidence, right? You watch me do this. I'm doing this and I'm moving forward. I'm not letting it stop. People are depending, right? People are waiting to see if I do it. And I'm going to do this. And I've been accomplishing in the past couple of weeks, as much as I think that I've just been slacking off, I really haven't. I've been getting things done and I'm still getting things done. Okay, everybody, that's it for tonight. I guess I'll see you guys next Sunday, right? Unless I get that phone this week, maybe we'll do a trial run and shoot a video up to YouTube during the week, but we'll see how the week goes. The plan this week is the glasses, right? That is the goal for this week. And that's a big goal. That's a big goal, right? Okay, everybody. I hope everybody's moving yourselves forward this week. I hope you got some good stuff coming up this week. I hope there's some choices for you that you can actually contemplate and make a good choice for yourself, right? Because there will be opportunities, right? If you are meant to be moving forward, those opportunities will come across your path. So keep your eyes open and stay open to a change, okay? Okay, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you next Sunday. Yes, I'm looking forward to that, Nancy. StreamYards. I want to learn StreamYards. And that's what you used StreamYards at the Halloween party. I know you did. Right? So yes, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.